a great welcome to all of you on another video series that we will be doing here in our studios with Dr. J. Smith. This time we are going to put the spotlight back again on Muhammad, and it's part of our series that is focused on the historical criticism of Islam's origin. We're going to call this video series Muhammad, a Critique. And we are going to walk you through a number of arguments that will basically put the spotlight on the fact that Muhammad, as Muslims know him, is not actually what the historical evidence are pointing to. So that's the gist, basically, of this whole video series, in addition to whatever Dr. J might point us to as well. So with that in mind, let me introduce to you our guest speaker, Dr. J. Dr. J, thank you so much, as always, for being here. I think we've been investing a lot of time collaborating together on putting the spotlight and focusing on historical critique of Islam in general, and this is one of those elements that deal with that.
Yes, you always have to come back to Muhammad, because without Muhammad, there is no Islam.
That's true. Yeah.
We said the same thing about the Quran. And for that matter, we said the same thing about Mecca, the book, the man, and the place. Take away any one of those three pillars of Islam, and the rest falls to pieces. You have to have Mecca for Muhammad and the Quran to have been there. You have to have Quran, otherwise what's the purpose of Muhammad? And you need Muhammad in order to have the Quran. So all three are absolutely important. And we've moved into Mecca. We did all that. We went through the Quran. We're always going to come back to the Quran because there's so much new material that we're studying. But now we're coming back to Muhammad. And the reason we're coming back to Muhammad because of some new discoveries. I've already talked about it on your channel. I think we did a live stream a number of months ago where we introduced two new discoveries, and then which has an impact on others that we have done in the past. So we're going to get into those discoveries now, and we're going to be looking at a number of things. So if we go to the slides, let's go ahead to the slides and see what we're talking about. We're going to look at 10 areas. If you look at the slides there, we're going to start out and look at what the Muslim claims are. We need to see what they're claiming first to be able to confront those claims. Mm-hmm. And then we're going to move into the problem with the sources. Because, goodness sakes, where do you think we get Muhammad from? You've got to go to the sources. You've got to go to the traditions that speak of him. The CIRA, which would be his biography. You need to go to the Hadith, which speak about his sayings. You need to go to the Tafsir, which be the commentaries that impact and explain what the Quran's saying that Muhammad received. And then you got to go to the Tahriq, which would be the histories of all mankind leading up to Muhammad. So that's the next area, because those sources are absolutely damaging. Brand new material that we've intimated here, we've talked about it, but now I'm going to show you visually just how bad they are. Let's go back to the slide. We're then going to move into the problem with Muhammad's name. And this is where the confusion lies.
Muhammad.
We're looking for the wrong Muhammad.
That's right.
We're looking for the wrong person because we're looking for a name without realizing the name that we've said there, we're imposing his name onto it. We should never have done that. So you've already said what the answer is. When we get there, we'll show you exactly what we're doing. Because people don't understand, you've got to show it visually. So we'll show you visually where this, not name, this title appears over and over and over again. All right? Then we're going to go into the coins, because then we've got to redress and go back to the coins that we looked at earlier. Because now we know that this is not Muhammad. Let's now look and see what the coins are saying. Well, then who is this character? Or is it a character? And if it is a character, what now do we know it? What will the coins tell us? And from there, we're going to go and look at the rock inscriptions, because much like the coins, the rock inscriptions are durable. We don't have any evidence for anybody called Muhammad or early Islam or anything to do with Mecca in the 7th century. That's all been destroyed, if it even existed. I would suggest it never did exist. That's why we don't have it. But if the Muslims are saying it's just an argument from silence, it's no longer an argument from silence, because we have material from that century. Coins are made out of metal. They don't disintegrate or deteriorate. Rocks are made, well, they're made out of rocks. They don't deteriorate or disintegrate. So we're going to now go back and try to find that title on both the coins and on the rocks. Let's look back at the slide again. Then we're going to go to the documentary evidence. So if that is the case, if the rocks and the coins are telling us something, let's now redress, go back to the documentary evidence, And let's just see if the documentary evidence agrees with what we're finding with the evidence on the ground.
Right.
Don't we always go to the evidence on the ground, Al-Fadi?
Absolutely.
And why do we do that?
Well, because you want to find out if the evidence on the ground support or contradict any claim.
Exactly. Now, Muslims have come back and they said there's lots of evidence. So let's go to number 7. They're looking at the historical problems with the 7th century. We're going to talk about that, unpack it, look at it, and see why is it the problem that everybody has been pointing to. And then we're going to look to all the claims about Muhammad that they claim are in the 7th century. There's claim after claim after claim after claim. We're going to debunk every one of them. I'm going to debunk every one of them. And I want to see if you agree with me. But I have to do the first of the others before I get to that, because you've got to know and see what is it we're talking about. So we're going to debunk every one of those claims. And then we're going to look at debunking the 21st century claims for Muhammad's existence. So we're going to go back and take what is it they're saying today. So that's number 10. The 21st century claims that they make for him, we're going to debunk all those. So that's 10 different areas that we're going to be looking at. That's an awful lot. I hope we get it done while we're here in this studio. We may have to come back and do it later on, but there's an awful lot to unpack. I've got over 130 slides that we've got to get through, and we've just started on the first 2.
And we certainly, we don't want to be in a hurry in such an important topic. And the reason why, and I'm going to speak to our audience right now, some of you might say, well, my goodness, you guys keep going back to sometimes the same topic. No, we're not. We are always bringing in cutting edge discoveries, research results, making sure that we're keeping you up to date on anything new that we're coming across. And that demands also for us to give you background, sometimes remind you of what has been covered, and also emphasize and point you to something that is new. And that's extremely important. Why? Because we're not here making any exclusive claim. We will tell you right now, if tomorrow we discover something new, we're going to come back again and visit that as well, because we want you to always be on the know. Anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, almost all the evidence that we're going to be introducing in this series has really come to light. The new evidence has come to light in just the last year. This is 2025. And some of it is because of Dr. Pat Andrews. Dr. Pat Andrews, who is my researcher, the guy has an eidetic memory. He has done such an amazing job, and he spent 2 years unpacking, looking at, finding, looking for the sources. So we have to give him credit where credit is due. It's not my research, but what he has done is he's gone back to what other people have researched. He has I always said he has an eidetic mind, but he also has an encyclopedia of knowledge that he has stored in that photographic memory of his. And so that's why he is such a treasure for us. But he won't come on camera to do this. So this is going to be his material. When we look at the title of Muhammad itself, that is coming out of Mel's material that's coming out of the German school. And so that Dr. Robert Kerr and others and Volker Popp, who has done probably the best job for us looking at the coins and looking and seeing what the title means. These are the Germans. In some ways, they're way ahead of everybody else. So the material that we're going to be introducing is brand new, but I'm going to show you visually this time. I've said it orally, that's okay. And people, it's gone in this year, out this year. Now we're going to show visually exactly what we're talking about so that you can, those of us who are watching, you can use it. And listen, you can go up on pfander.org, pfandercenter.org, pfandercentre.org, and you can actually get the PowerPoints up there of what we're going to do here. That's all going to be up there so people can use it themselves.
Are you going to notice center is CENTRE. That's the British way of writing it. So in case somebody from America writes it differently. Now again, Dr. J, why is this important? We want people to hear it over and over again, especially our Muslim audience.
We're going to pretty well show that there was not a man named Muhammad who lived in a place called Mecca, who received a book called the Quran in the 7th century.
In other words, the standard Islamic narrative indeed has holes in it.
Has huge holes. You're quoting Dr. Yusuf Qadi on that one.
Right.
It has huge holes. This is one of the biggest.
Wonderful. Thank you. And everyone, I want to point you to something important here. You're going to notice that our videos for this particular series are not going to be your usual 11 to 12 minutes. We're going to do our best to shorten it at least within the range of, let's say, between 6 and 8 minutes, simply because we want to just focus on the main issues, and at the same time, we want to be able to pack a lot of these videos as well in this particular lengthy series, and we don't know yet how many videos we'll end up doing. Recently, we did almost 70 videos just from one video series called Creating the Quran, and that one was based on a book, and we have already published that recently.
Shame on me, shame on you. It's PFANDERCENTER. It is the American spelling.
So it is the American spelling. There you go. But I'm sure these days Google will find it anyway. So.
Pfander Center with CNTER is the YouTube site. No, I'm sorry, the website you need to go to find all this material.
Wonderful. Thank you, brother. Thank you, everyone. Until the next episode, have a blessed day, everyone. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment. And ring the bell so you will be notified when we release new content. Our mission is to reach Muslims with the gospel of Jesus Christ and help Christians engage with their Muslim neighbors. If you want to join us in this life-changing work, please support us on patreon.com/CIRA International, or just click on the link below.